Hello and welcome to this video on how can freshers get a DevOps job. In this video, I will explain what a fresher should expect if you are intending to become a DevOps engineer. Also, if you are taking some courses from a trainer or a bootcamp, what you should really expect and how you should think and how your mindset should be to get a particular DevOps job. These are the points I will be discussing in this video. So watch till the end because in the end I will also give you a free link to a free access and we will discuss more about this at the end of the video. To begin with, it is important that you have a long-term vision of 2 to 5 years. Why am I telling this? You are in your early step of your career. So you will not be able to achieve a senior DevOps position or a DevOps position that is in a, let us say, in a very big company immediately. So don't worry about these things. First, think about 2 to 5 years. In 2 to 5 years, do I want to be the DevOps engineer? Can I be a DevOps engineer and still continue? If yes, then you should pick DevOps engineering profile. Why I'm stressing this is many of the freshers might be wanting to become, let us say, software developers, let us say, software developers, or you want to become data scientists, which is also fine. If you're choosing this as a long-term vision or goal, then learning DevOps is a waste of money for you. So don't focus on short-term goals. Don't think that I will become DevOps engineer now and after 2 to 3 years, maybe I'll shift. No, because the fruit of your efforts will only come after 2 to 5 years. Once you get a DevOps job, once you have 2 years of experience, you can easily expect 30% hike in your next offer. In your next offer. That is why I'm telling that you should have a long-term vision of being a DevOps engineer. And if not, then maybe you should not choose this, and it is totally fine. You have to choose the career that you want to do. The next point is learn and implement project. Many of my students whom I interact with, they say, Sir, I know Docker very well. Okay, if you know Docker very well, you know the fundamentals of Docker very well, or the concepts of Docker very well. But what did you do? What did you do with Docker is the question. So can you point me to your Docker Hub IO, where I can see some images that you have built? No, many of my students, they don't spend time on this. They only try to spend time on creating some simple Docker image and that's it. I know the concepts. No, you have to create different kinds of Docker images. How can I automate creation of these Docker images using Jenkins? These kind of implementations that you should do. This is just an example for Docker. You can think about the similar thing in anything like in AWS or Kubernetes. Whatever you do, you should make sure that you have something in production like in Docker Hub or somewhere that you can keep. And remember, keep everything in a GitHub repository. Everything that you do, you should track it in your GitHub repository. Remember, you are a fresher, so you have to prove in the interview that, look, I am performing these tasks apart from what I'm learning, and I'm actively doing this. This will bring up your confidence and show the commitments during the interview. So not just learn, but implementing these projects is also important. Okay. Next, understanding software development lifecycle is super critical. One reason many of the people take DevOps, let us say, is because they don't like coding. But being a DevOps engineer, what are you doing? You're automating a task, right? Now, how will you automate anything? You will have to write some part of code. some part of code. Okay. Now in software development, there are different kinds of development. Okay. One is application development where web UIs applications are developed. The other is general software information lifecycle. Okay. You should at least focus and learn this. You should know one programming language. The easiest is Java, Python. If you know this, and if you know the general concept of this, that is, how does a software work? How are the code structure present? What is a function? What is a class? You don't need to be an expert in this. You just need to know these concepts on a broader level. How is the folder structure divided in a project? If you know all of this information, that is more than enough for you being a DevOps engineer. Many people shy away from learning this concept. Don't shy away. Focus on this also. The next one is focus on one cloud and at least one certification, preferably a cloud certification. Every single job out there is using cloud today. If they are not, they will be using cloud in future. Okay. So focusing on one cloud is important. Now, if you are confused which cloud to use, go to my channel. You will find a video, the difference between AWS cloud, Azure cloud, and Google cloud. You can pick any of them. But focusing on one cloud technology is super important, and achieving one certification is better for you. Now, usually these kinds of certification will cost 150 US dollars. This is a very big amount for freshers, I understand. So one question that people will also ask me is, if I have a certification, does it guarantee me a job? No, it doesn't guarantee you a job, but it guarantees that when the HRs look into your resume, it shows them you have a certification. It is a plus point for you. And when you go to the interview, it is also a plus point for you because the interviewer can think, being a fresher, if you have achieved this with very little guidance and exposure to software industry, imagine what this person can do when they start working with us. This is how they will think. This is going to help you. So try to achieve a certification if possible. If not possible, it is still fine. But make sure that achieving a certification doesn't mean you should not achieve it because I will get a job. No, it is like showcasing that you have put this much effort on this particular technology and you have understood it pretty well. Next, don't be choosy towards your job title. This is a very important point. One of the students had called me asking me that, sir, I have 0 years of experience, 0 years. Okay. I took one DevOps course. Now I have a job as a Linux engineer. Should I join or not? My answer is, my answer was, yes, you should join. Why? I will tell you. There are so many freshers out there, and with 0 years of experience, if you say that I know all of these technologies, but I don't want to become Linux engineer, it is your loss. I'm very honest with you. Why? Because the first and foremost important point that you should remember is you must enter into IT. Enter into IT. This is important. You should first enter into IT industry, understand the nitty-gritties around IT industry. How does it work? What is this title? What does a Jira task really mean when you start working? And get used to it. So whatever you have learned in the DevOps, it will not get used because after 1 year, if you perform well, ask for internal change. Ask for internal change. Internal change. That's it. Simple. So why not ask for an internal change after 1 year? And after you make the internal change, work there for 1 more year and then switch. So having a long-term vision is important. That is why I said this in the first point. So don't be choosy about your job title. If you're very choosy, then it is going to be difficult for you. So get into the stream of the IT industry as soon as you get an offer and go about doing this. This is my another suggestion for all the freshers, especially. Next, top up your existing knowledge with new technology. Many people again learn some DevOps tools, which is good. So they learn, for example, they learn Jenkins. But nowadays, there is Argo CD, there is GitHub Actions, right? So these are new technologies. You will still be focusing on Jenkins only, building jobs and stuff like this. No, once you have finished learning this, it is important. But once you finish learning Jenkins, in your free time, explore what is Argo CD, explore what is GitHub Action. These are very easy to understand. So if you have understood Jenkins, these are very easy. Understanding new technologies and topping up your existing information towards technology will be helpful. Last, your resume must have 2 to 3 different projects you have worked on. Being a fresher, as I mentioned earlier, being a fresher, it is important to show that even though you don't have a work experience, you have built projects that meet real world standards. In the GitHub repository, you should show the project structure, how it is built, the architectural diagram, how it is getting used in cloud, everything. This again is all about creating an impression, creating an impression towards the interviewer to show them that you are a focused person. You can work on a given project and go beyond that and implement it and make sure that you can achieve what is given, whatever the task has been given to you, can finish it. That is why this is also important. Also, only your efforts can get you the job. All others are just guidance. What I am telling you, or whatever the training that you are going to take, no one can offer you a 100% job support or job guarantee. This will not exist. Imagine if this existed, then everyone would have taken this particular role only. Am I right? So this doesn't exist. So remember this, that only your efforts can bring. So whenever you pick a training or a trainer, understand that I will be using them as a guidance material. I will be understanding what they are telling me, and I'll be using them as a guidance towards achieving my goal. If you have this mentality, then it becomes easy to set the right expectations for you. Now, if you are a fresher and if you want to get started in what is cloud computing, but you don't know what is cloud computing and you have no clue, but you want to get started with this career and become a cloud engineer, then there is a link in the description. You can click on this. It is a free access. It is a course of just 45 minutes, which will give you a lot more information. You can go and register. Again, it is free. And if you want to interact with me, once you complete that course, there is a link that is present, using which you can book a slot with me, 30 minutes time slot with me, where you can discuss about your career progression. I hope this video brought a complete insight for you. If this has been helpful, don't forget to click the like button and speak to you in the next video. Thank you.